Hi, welcome back. This is the seventh part of the House T AutoCAD 2020 modelling tutorials. This is where we left things at the end of the last videos, and what we're going to do is a couple of kind of things to finish off. We're going to bring in the first floor, deal with the handrails on the stair, and also put on a different roof shape, put on something a bit more dramatic. That'll introduce a couple more new 3D commands for you. So firstly, I'm just going to try and get rid of some of the 2D stuff that we've got lying around. So I'll just bring on these major kind of 2D layers, and we'll see what we can get rid of. Just a wee bit of clutter here that we don't need anymore. Okay, so just delete all these. Layer 0 as well, actually. Layer 0. Okay, and let's drop the scans at the same time. Deleting the scans, I'd use the image command. Pick all of these in one go and detach them all. That's done with those, and then we'll just pick the rest of the stuff off as you would normally. We've got the dimensions layer frozen as well. Yeah, but that's it. Maybe for shaded we don't see the dimensions. Yeah, that's right. Okay, we kind of know our way around the building now. No need to keep all this stuff. So just a quick tidy up there. There's probably still a bit of 2D stuff kicking around in here, so we're going to switch off some of the 3D layers just so we can get to that. Let's get rid of these so we just see that. Timber floor, want to keep that. Okay, so everything else there except for these two shapes are gone. Okay, quick way of turning all the layers back on: minus LA, enter, on, enter, star, enter twice. That brings all your layers back on. Okay, and I've got a locked layer there which will unlock, so we're good to go. So what we'll do there now is save and purge this. So we want to I'll do a save as just now. Kind of getting into the finishing stage now. Model at, let's call it model at the end. So we're going to take this right the way to the end now. Okay, and you use the purge command, and this will get rid of any kind of chaff in the file. So there's a lot of stuff kicking around that we've been bringing in, copy and pastes, all these things all generate rubbish that can go. So purge all checked items, close, and the layers list now should be a fair bit smaller. Notice all the 2D layers are gone. Okay, so here's the first floor model. Okay, we're not going all the way through this, it just takes too long. So it's done in exactly the same principles, exactly the same way. The only difference here, there's a couple of different layers. We've got some tiling in the bathroom, and we've got a railing at the first floor. Stops you, if these windows are open, stops you falling out into the light well. Okay, so we'll put that back to 2D wireframe, and we'll use this as the base point. Okay, so we're in the world coordinate system. So Shift Control C, base point here, grab everything, enter. Okay, we can close the first floor drawing now, and then we're in the same coordinate system. Shift Control V, the whole of the first floor comes in, and we'll drop it the top corner of this wall. Okay, so as you can see, it's, it's starting to build into a fairly complex scene. Right, the next job I want to do is work on the staircase and handrails here. To be able to control the layers, we'll need to explode this block that's just come in. So X, enter, pick this block, enter. Okay, now if we did purge again, you would see that there's now something else to purge. Okay, that's the copy paste. Okay, we'll save it till later. Okay, now there's a lot going on here, a bit difficult to kind of see where we are. Okay, so I think switching off some layers just now is going to help. So we'll try and thin down some of this. We don't need to see the ground floor concrete, we do need to see the first floor. All these door frames we don't need to see. Okay, that's helping. And same at first floor, we don't need to see the doors and their frames. The windows are a bit far away, they'll be okay. And we do really need to see the walls, so we'll keep those on. So we're just going to have to kind of tough it out and work in this kind of arrangement. So hopefully you can understand what's happening. We'll come through this door, up the stairs, the door at the half landing, up the stairs again, and then into the living space at first floor. Okay, now I've got a couple of items in this file that are layers that are switched off. Okay, so there should be a handrail that's come through. 3D, we've got a railing there. I don't see my handrail. That's annoying. I think I'm just going to have to draw it afresh since I've started the video. I'm not going to go back and try and find that. Pretty sure it was there, but if it's maybe tiny we can't see it. No, I think it's gone, so we're just going to have to draw things fresh. Okay, now here's what we're trying to imitate. Okay, we've got a fairly low railing here. Can you see the height of the door handle? Okay, that shows you that this is a pretty low railing. Okay, the height of the railing at the stair, you can see that's higher than the railing over here. Okay, so bear that in mind in a few seconds. Okay, it's a very simple profile. Just looks like a stainless steel kind of rectangular section of metal. I would say something like about 15 millimeters by 60. Okay, and that gets used on all of these. And then we've got some kind of tubular appearing brackets which we'll make as well. Okay, so back to AutoCAD. So let's do the handrail first, the simple rail. That one's a bit easier to do. Now, you can see from this picture that the rail seems to be over the step nearest the top. It's not the actual top step, it's the step just below the top. Okay, so that would be this one. Okay, now let's create a new layer. Okay, 3D handrail. White's okay for this, we'll keep it legible. Make it current. Okay, I'm just going to use some polylines initially, and I don't need the center polyline just now. I'm putting a polyline across the top of that tread, okay, and then a polyline from the middle of that tread back the way, because I think that's where that lines up, kind of with the middle of this tread. If I took a line down there and then down the wall slightly, I think it would hit the middle of that tread. Okay, then we need a line along the edge of the floor here, so coming from the corner of that concrete. Okay, and this line, even though it's lower down, it should be able to trim the one above. So trim, pick this as your cutter, enter, And you can see that chopping that line. Okay, so we know where that position is now on the floor. We can draw from that. Okay, so use polylines again so they don't drop in height. Okay, so we want a rectangular section. So firstly, it's not right at the edge of the floor. See, there's about, say, 30 millimeters gap, then 60 for the piece of metal. So offset 30 first, then 60. Okay, and then we want the piece of metal. So that I said it was 15. So if we offset this 7.5 each way, 7.5 this way and this way. Okay, extend these through. Okay, we're going to need intersection now for the object snaps. So we'll add intersection on there as well. Okay, so a rectangle now. Okay, so we can lose these guidelines. Let's clear things up as we go. Don't need this one. Don't need this or this. Okay, so that's the position of the first upright. Now, how do we determine where the second one there goes? Okay, now these guys, these Japanese architects are extremely diligent in the way they kind of do things mathematically. So I would anticipate that the gap here is exactly the same as the gap here. Okay, now that's a little bit tricky to do. Okay, so what I do here, if we've only got two uprights, okay, copy this shape first. Copy that shape next to itself. Okay, then shorten this line till it touches the corner of the second one, the newest one. Okay, so the overall length, okay, has had two thicknesses of the piece of metal taken off it. Okay, now you divide this in half. So divide. Okay, we want two segments. That's where that point is where the corner of this one should be positioned. So we'll move this now from end point there to node. Right, now let's check this. Okay, let's get rid of the line, get rid of this line, get rid of the node. Okay, so let's measure from there to there, and then from there to here, and see what the distances are. So we're looking for the Y distances. So DI from endpoint to endpoint. Okay, the Y distance there, 4335168. Distance from here to here, 4335168. That's perfect. Okay, we now need a rectangle shape for the top of the railing, the horizontal bit. Okay, may as well draw that while these are down on the ground. Okay, so we need to know where it's going to hit the wall. So let's come along here. Okay, that's not going to generate an intersection there. Okay, where a line touches a solid doesn't count as an intersection. It has to be line crossing line before we find it. So there's the intersection now. Okay, so if we draw a rectangle from here to the intersection there, we've got the shapes we need. Okay, now copy one of these. So copy the smaller rectangle before we start. Okay, we're going to use that for the other handrail. Okay, so we're just turning this into solids now. So we move this from base point, and we'll take this up. I think only pretty something like 750. I think it's really quite low. Okay, extrude it down by 15. then we can extrude both of these to the underside of that. Then we join those together, so we union these up, may as well turn them into one solid. So that's the barrier. Okay, the handrail, it's a bit trickier. Okay, now what we need to do is establish where the wall is in relation to that barrier. So looking at the photograph there, there's at least 25 millimeters, I would say, beyond the barrier, sorry, beyond the handrail to the wall. Okay, so let's draw a line out there, 25. Okay, then we need the shape of the bracket. So let's use a polyline, go from midpoint downwards. Doesn't look too far. I would say we go down, say 30, and then we come across, trim this off, and that's our bracket shape. Okay, I think that's about right. Could be a bit less actually. If we move this up, say 10, looks a bit more elegant. Okay, so we need to flesh this out now, turn it into a shape. So what we'll do is change the coordinate system to the front. Okay, we'll put a polygon on this. I'm not going to put a circle on it. I'm going to put a polygon on. Okay, we've got a polygon here. Number of sides, let's say 12. The center point of the polygon will go here, and the radius of the circle, let's say 5. Okay, then if we extrude that along that path, let's extrude, pick the object, enter. I want it to follow a path, and then pick the path. So we get that kind of quite elegant, as if it's 90-degree bend, as if it's been welded together. Okay. Now, it's important that we know where the center of this polygon is. So let's put another circle there, just so we can use that as a control point in a few seconds. Okay, so we've kind of got enough stuff ready there to deal with the brackets. Now what we need to do is set up where the handrail actually goes. So this is going to be along this wall, okay, and that is facing the left coordinate system. Okay, so let's draw a polyline down the flight of steps. Okay, H1, simple polygon, sorry, simple polyline. Okay, move that upwards. So set ortho on, move it upwards by 900, and then we want to move it outwards. Okay, the distance needs to be from the center of that circle to the end of that line. Okay, we've got those geometrically there, so we could use them. So move both of these, enter, from end point to center. And that should have pushed them away from the wall. So they're not touching the wall now. They're just outside of it. Okay, now let's see what happens now. So what we're going to do is sweep this shape onto both of these. Okay, when you do that, you lose your originals. So copy that shape first. Okay, and then the command is sweep. Pick the shape. Enter. Oh, before we do that, escape again. Keep a copy of these two lines. So copy them onto each other. Okay, we did this before. We pretended to copy from a endpoint, come back to the same endpoint. When you use the sweep command, these get absorbed into the object as well. Okay, so sweep, pick the shape, enter, choose the base point. We'll go for the middle of the top here, and then choose the object to sweep on. We've taken the wrong orientation there, so I'll undo that. Okay, put the UCS back to the world. Let's try it again. Okay, sweep, pick the object, enter, base point, middle here, then choose your rail. That's better. Okay, do the same again with this one. Sweep again, pick the object, enter, base point, middle here, then choose the rail. Okay, good. So we've got our top rail. Okay, now what we need to do is find points to position the brackets. Okay, for this one we'll use the object here as to generate the coordinate system. Okay, now before we do that, let's copy this to the clipboard, but we need to be in the same orientation as this object. Okay, well actually it's kind of the end of the object, so it's as if we were looking down the end of that circle. Okay, so let's change to the left coordinate system, and let's turn that upwards. Okay, so we'll rotate it. Okay, so it's facing upwards, as if it was the bracket facing the wall here, and it's picking up the rail there. Okay, we don't need this line anymore. Okay, so that's ready to copy and paste. But firstly we need to know where it's going to go. Okay, so let's just measure these two lines. Okay, this one's 2,800. Okay, and this one is just over 1,800. So if our brackets were 900 millimeters apart, that would be consistent. We could do 3 brackets on this one and 4 brackets on this one. That would look quite tidy. Okay, so you can see here we've got 4 brackets there, and the photograph's a bit indistinct. I can't count how many are going on there, but the way the stair works, I think we're looking at 4 and 3. Okay, so let's get into the coordinate system for the handrail first. Actually, let's copy and paste this to the clipboard before we do that. So Shift Control C, the base point is the center of the handrail shape, pick the object, enter. So that's ready to use in a few seconds. Okay, now we want to use the UCS object. Okay, so the command is UCS, enter, pick the object option, and then pick this line. Okay, looking at the way the axes are sitting at the moment, okay, we could do with that spun round by 180. Let's just try the command again, see if we get a different result. UCS OB, that's looking better. Okay, see, it kind of changes, depends on kind of whereabouts you are on the object. So that's more like it. X is running down this line. That's going to behave better. Okay, and we can't just divide the object by 4, because we'll end up with a handrail bracket right at the end, which isn't actually what happens. It's a little bit further down from the end. Okay, so we'll start and draw. We need to know the distance from the midpoint, so we're trying to put 900s along here. So I think if you drew circles that are 450, okay, and then a circle that's 900, so from there 900, and from here 900, where those circles cross that line, that's where the brackets go. Okay, so if we try this, Shift Control V, place a bracket there, Shift Control V, Shift Control V, difficult to tell, and Shift Control V. Oops, it's misbehaving there. Let's get one of that. Okay. Okay, the circles have done their job. Okay, we'll do the same on this. We'll start off with a circle that is 900 this time, at the midpoint. Okay, and we're just ready to go straight away. Shift Control V. It's not picking up an intersection on it for us there. Let's trim that there. I think I've placed the circle slightly in the wrong place. Let's make sure we put the circle on the polyline. Okay, quite a lot of lines here. Shift Control V, that's better. We want one in the middle. There's the middle point. And the last one at the end. Okay, so that gives us our handrail brackets. We wouldn't need the circles. We don't need the line in the middle anymore. That can go. And the bracket itself, we don't need to keep that either. Put the UCS back to world. And that's the house as is, complete. Okay, in the next video, it'll be a short one, we'll use a couple of different commands to put a roof on this building in a slightly different way. Okay, hope you found that really useful. I've enjoyed creating this.